Hi there, it's Tim with another video. This is another electric style video, and today I'm actually replying to a video that Perry sent to me. I typically, as you know, do videos where I'm in front of an electric vehicle of some kind, quite often flying around on an electric scooter and showing you all the wonderful things about the scooter world. Today, though, I'm going to reply to an email, which I thought was such a really fundamentally good quality email to receive. It was one of those emails where I read it and I thought, wow, so many other people are going to be in the exact same boat as Perry. So Perry wrote in and he said, I really appreciate it and enjoy your videos on YouTube regarding electric scooters. I've seen most of them and will continue to watch and have subscribed. Thanks for subscribing. If you haven't subscribed, I'd love it if you hit that subscribe button. Also hit that like button. Apparently that helps the algorithm. Who knew? Anywho, I know you will probably get a lot of these types of questions that start with what is the best? And I admit in this case, I am unoriginal. I don't think my question is original, but maybe a little bit more prescriptive than some. You can be the judge. The setup. My wife and I bought a very small camper and are looking for electric scooters that we may take with us on trips. Below are some of the facts that may be applied if you can advise me. Number one, I'm 310 pounds. There goes a chunk of the options. And you're right. Yes, of course, bigger guys, we struggle. I'm 282 right now. There are far fewer scooters available to us. And of course, then range is a problem. My wife is 130 pounds. That's his second point. And our needs will be moving around through campgrounds, touring urban cities, and maybe an occasional commute 5 miles each way. Very little off-road, but some poor road conditions would be a factor. And his fourth point is, I would like to keep close to the $3,000 mark if possible, but I'm flexible. And it's important to note $3,000 US. He's in the US. My current thoughts are for me are the Wolf Warrior. The 011X looks very similar but more costly. The Dualtron Thunder is cost prohibitive for me. The more difficult problem is finding a matching scooter for my wife because I don't know how much weight will affect the speed and battery life in order to pick up the scooter. Typically, like how heavy is a scooter and how heavy is it going to be something that's going to be manageable for his wife as well. Let's continue on here with lastly, I have a few simple things I have not been able to find an answer to, and we'll speak on the last below. Number one, can you push the scooter? The simple answer is, yeah, absolutely, you can push it. In fact, I did a review recently where I did a range test, and at the end of the range test, I pooched the battery, so I ended up having to push it back. Totally fine. You can push it back, and when you get like a little bit of a hill, you can actually just ride it right down the hill without much of an issue. So he's asking, like, is there a neutral to speak of if the battery dies? You can, so if the deck height is low enough, on some of them are a little bit lower than others. The 11X, for example, is quite high, and that's because it wants to traverse, hills, mountains, rocks, curb edges, etc. But with the more touring style or cruiser style scooter, they're typically a bit lower to the ground. The deck is a little bit lower, so you'll be able to manage that a little bit more easily. That is, you'll be able to kick the scooter along. Just kick with one foot and away you go. Number two, is there a common way to lock a scooter? And the answer to that is yes. And in fact, that's actually something I'm going to do in a very future video. I'm actually going to do a review of a bunch of the locks. So stick with this channel, make sure you like, subscribe, and all that fun stuff. And you'll be able to see that exact, basically recommendations of how to lock up your scooter to ensure it doesn't get stolen. And number three, is there a consistent type of port for charging scooters? I wondered if I could use a camp solar to charge the scooter while traveling. So each scooter manufacturer is going to ship with you, with them, a charging unit, which will be DC-AC, so that you'll be able to plug into your alternating current. If you happen to have a charging setup on site with your solar and you have a way to convert that power into AC power, which typically most people will have an inverter attachment to their setup, then you should be fine. Just plug it right in there and you'll get a trickle charge right down onto the scooter. So thank you again, Perry, for the email. So to answer the question, I looked into the Wolf Warrior. I've reviewed the Wolf Warrior. It's a fantastic machine, bit of a behemoth, quite a big heavy duty machine. I actually think you should go a different direction. And I think that what people need to realize with scooters in particular is that to look at ways of keeping not just the cost down, but trying to figure out what it is you want to do with your scooter. If most of the time you're going to be going from A to B, that is cruising or, going to the store or what have you, flat roads, the occasional bump, I typically wouldn't look at some of these off-roading behemoths. If you're, a wild sort of out there having lots of fun type experience, and you want to get out there and have, uh, traversing mountains and hitting the paths and doing 50 miles an hour, hey, that's great. Then go for an 11X or go for a Wolf Warrior. But by the sound of what Perry is asking for, he's a big guy. And I think what he probably wants to be able to do is just cruise around town, get back and forth from the campsite, maybe go and check in at the office, go pick up some stuff at the grocery stores, that kind of thing. For that style of scooter, I actually think that an Emove Cruiser is probably going to be a better fit for him. I think the Emove Cruiser, it's going to give you the range. I did a range test on it the other day, and with a big guy like myself, it had no problems going a long, long way. I think it was 50 something kilometers. I'll put a link up here to that video on the range test. I have done a review of the Emove Cruiser. Again, I'll put that link above. And I just thought the Emove Cruiser was like really comfortable. It didn't go super fast. And I actually think that what you can actually do is you could probably get two of them for less than $3,000. And then what you do is just on this speed limiter, you're probably going to put yourself, the big guy is going to probably put it into level 3, but with his wife riding around, she could actually just put it down onto level 1. Now you could even save a little bit more money, but and go down to like an Emove Touring for her because she's quite a bit lighter. I would probably look at something like a Legger for her if you wanted to get a smaller scooter. But if you get the exact same scooter, then I think you're going to have, I think you have a little bit of peace of mind. The tires on the Emove Cruiser, they're designed for, they're tubeless. So you're not going to get the flat perhaps that you might get with a like pinch flats and things like that. It does have a really decent suspension. So if you do hit some bumps, it's not a big deal. And the range, as I said before, the range is fantastic. The speed's not really there. It's not a super fast machine. You're going to be going at around 20 to probably around 20 miles an hour most of the time with that scooter. It has a 600 watt motor at the back. And if memory serves me, it's 1600 watts when it goes right up to top full power. So those are my thoughts. What would you recommend for Perry? Put that down in the comments down below. I always love to hear what other people think that would be the wise suggestion for this type of scooter. So for a big guy with his wife to get around town, to boot around, get back and forth, what would you recommend for Perry and other people just like him? I myself are in the exact same boat. I've got a 09 right now, and I'm thinking what I might do is upgrade that and then, basically pass the 09 down to my wife. And so that the two of us can go out and go along these beautiful scooting around these beautiful trails in Victoria. So anyway, thanks so much for watching. If you have any other questions, hit the comment box down below and let me know. And later on this week, we've got another video coming out for another electric scooter. Thank you very much for watching.